Welcome to Mysteries and Legends, where the unexplained meets the unforgettable. I'm your host, Don from Investigation 13. Join me on a journey into the unknown, where we'll explore the strange, the bizarre, and the inexplicable. From ghostly encounters to cryptic legends, we'll dive into the stories that will leave you questioning what's real and what's just beyond the veil. From ghostly encounters to unexplained mysteries, we'll explore the most bizarre events from around the world.
Welcome to Mysteries and Legends, where the unexplained meets the unforgettable. Unforgettable. I'm your host, Don from Investigation 13. Join me on a journey into the unknown. We'll explore the strange, the bizarre, and the inexplicable. From ghostly encounters to cryptic legends, we'll dive into the stories that will leave you questioning what's real and what's just beyond the veil. From ghostly encounters to unexplained mysteries, we'll explore the most bizarre events from around the world. Yeah.
The investigation on Route 666. Date: October 30, 2023. Time: 11:45 p.m. Location: Route 666, Virginia. The darkness of the rural Virginia night swallowed the team's SUV whole as they drove down the infamous Route 666. Noobs, Dakota, and Chris, seasoned paranormal investigators, were on a mission to uncover the truth behind the eerie legends surrounding this stretch of road. Their friend, Alex, tagged along, skeptical of the paranormal claims. As they arrived at the investigation site, the team began setting up their equipment. Noobs, an avid fan of the paranormal, couldn't help but feel a thrill of excitement. "This place has some serious history," he said, eyes scanning the desolate landscape. Dakota and Chris nodded in agreement, while Alex leaned against the vehicle, arms crossed. "I don't get why you're all so worked up about this," Alex said, his voice laced with skepticism. "It's just a road." The team exchanged knowing glances. This wasn't the first time they'd encountered a non-believer, and they were eager to prove him wrong. As they began their investigation, strange occurrences started to plague them. Equipment malfunction, and unexplained noises echoed through the night. Noobs, an avid fan of the paranormal, couldn't resist sharing the history of the road. "Guys, did you know that Route 666 was once known as the Devil's Highway? They say it's cursed." Dakota nodded. "And the locals claim to have seen shadowy figures darting across the road," Chris added, not to mention the numerous reports of cars stalling and strange lights in the sky. Alex snorted. "You guys are just feeding off each other's fear. I'm going to go take some pictures." As Alex wandered away from the group, the others continued to sweep the area with their EMF meters and digital recorders. That's when they heard a faint whisper in the audio capture, a soft, raspy voice that sent chills down their spines. "Guys, I think we've got something," Dakota whispered, holding up the recorder. But before they could analyze the evidence, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night air. It came from the direction Alex had wandered off to. The team rushed towards the sound, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on the trees. They found Alex stumbling back towards them, his eyes different. For a fleeting moment, his irises turned a milky white, and his pupils seemed to expand. The team froze, unsure of what to do. The team tended to Alex, trying to make sense of what they'd just witnessed. Noobs couldn't shake the feeling that something had indeed possessed their friend, if only for a moment. The investigation continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. They were no longer just hunting for evidence, they were trying to understand what had happened to Alex. As the night wore on, the occurrences escalated. Shadows darted around them, and the team captured more unexplained audio evidence. At one point, Chris captured a shadowy figure on camera, standing just beyond the tree line. The team huddled together, analyzing their findings. "This is some of the strongest evidence we've ever captured," Dakota said, eyes wide with excitement. But Alex remained quiet, his eyes distant. Noobs noticed that he seemed off. "Hey, man, you okay?" he asked. Alex nodded slowly. "Yeah, I think so. But I keep feeling watched." The team exchanged worried glances. Had they just witnessed a genuine case of possession? Only time would tell. As the night drew to a close, the team packed up their gear, exhausted but exhilarated. The clock read 3:30 a.m. As they drove away from Route 666, Alex sat quietly in the back seat, his eyes fixed on some unseen point. The drive back was silent, each member lost in their own thoughts. When they finally arrived at their base, Alex excused himself, claiming he needed some rest. The others watched him go, concern etched on their faces. "What's going on with him?" Chris asked, turning to Noobs and Dakota. Noobs shook his head. "I don't know, but I think we should keep an eye on him." The days that followed were filled with analysis and debate. The team pored over their evidence, trying to make sense of the events on Route 666. Alex, however, remained distant, his eyes still haunted by the memories of that night. It wasn't until a week later, when they reviewed the footage, that they realized the true extent of what had happened. A single frame captured Alex's face, his eyes white as snow, a malevolent grin spreading across his face. The team froze, their hearts racing. What had they encountered on Route 666? And what had happened to Alex? As they continued to analyze the evidence, strange occurrences began to plague them. Equipment would go missing, and strange noises echoed through the night. It was as if whatever had possessed Alex was still with them. The team tried to stay strong, but the tension was palpable. They knew they had to do something to help Alex, but they didn't know what. One night, as they sat around the table, discussing their next move, Alex walked in. His eyes seemed normal, but there was something different about him. A coldness in his gaze that hadn't been there before. "Guys, I remember what happened," he said, his voice low and gravelly. "I remember the feeling of being consumed. I remember the darkness." The team leaned in, eager to hear more. But as Alex continued to speak, his voice changed. It became deeper, more menacing. "I am not Alex," the voice said. "I am the one who was awakened on Route 666. And I will not be silenced." The team froze, their hearts racing. They knew they had to do something, but they didn't know what. As they watched, Alex's eyes turned white once more, and he let out a blood-curdling scream. Evidence log. Audio capture of whispering voice at 12:10 a.m. EMF spike near abandoned mine shaft at 1:45 a.m. Photographic evidence of unexplained shadow at 2:20 a.m. Witness account of Alex's possession at 2:45 a.m. Video evidence of shadowy figure at 3:10 a.m. Single frame capture of Alex's possessed face. Audio evidence of malevolent entity at base. The case remains open, a chilling reminder of the unknown forces that lurk in the shadows. The team continues to investigate, but they'll never forget the night they encountered the darkness on Route 666.